Hey guys, welcome to another tutorial video. Today we're going to talk about bits, bars, bit grids, BPM and everything rhythm related. So, we will just need a bit of basic music theory for DJs first. As you know, all music is made up of bits. When you say a song is at 120 BPM, what this means is that there are exactly 120 bits in a minute. So this is a bit. A bar, also known as a measure, is made up of 4 consecutive bits. The good news is that we now have automatic bar detection and downbeat detection. What's a downbeat, you ask? Well, it's the very first bit in a bar. This is also numbered 1.1. So the first number is the bar number and the second number is the bit number. A bit grid is basically made out of all the bars and the bits of the song that you can experience in a visual way as a grid. I think it's better to just show you all of these. Let's just load the track. These are the bits and these are the bars and this is a downbeat. So if you notice, each bit comes with its own line, which is slightly less pronounced than the bar line, which is a bit thicker and also a bit wider. So let's hit play and see how this looks like. So as you can see, while I'm playing, the track progresses through bits and bars. And also, if you see here, something interesting is that the bar should have actually start here instead of here. So this brings us to the next topic. As you know, future.dj Pro automatically detects the bit grid, but sometimes it might get it slightly wrong or even completely wrong for certain tracks. So what can we do if this happens? Well, until recently you couldn't do much about it, just hope for the best that the automatic detection worked. Now all this has changed. Let's take a look at the newly added bit grid editing. This is a very powerful new feature that will allow you to properly set the bit grid and BPM of tracks. This will also allow you to much better use sync and mixed tracks. So let's see a demo. So first of all, you need to access the bit grid editing. You do this by pressing this button. At this point, the display shows the bit editing details. From left to right, we have the BPM value, setting a new downbeat, or moving the downbeat as needed. Then we can move the whole bit grid left to right. And then we can adjust the bit size. This also, of course, influences the BPM value. So if you make the bit grid, if you make the bits more denser, you're gonna have a much higher BPM. If you make the bits a bit sparser, then you're gonna have a lower BPM value. For special cases where, let's say, you have a track that has a dynamic tempo, like for example a live playing band, you might need to segment the track in multiple bit grids, in multiple sections, basically. So let's say the track here we're gonna have like a BPM number, then if we go up to here we're gonna have like a different BPM number, and then here a different bit grid, and here a different bit grid, and here a different section. So as you notice, I'm using bit grids and sections kind of like interchangeably. So they basically mean the same thing. It's just a way of saying that, okay, so from here on, this track has a different bit grid, a different BPM. Okay, So let's go back now and let's try and fix this problem that we had here. Okay. So if you look at the track, we can see that the first bit actually starts here. Okay. So what we can do is we can move the waveform, drag it with your mouse or with your touchpad, and then just go here and just place it here. Okay. And now, as you can see, the down bits has moved. Okay. You can see all the white, the thicker white bars are now properly on their location. Of course, if we didn't do that correctly, we can of course move it around. You see, I'm moving it to the right, and now I'm moving it to the left. Also, let's say that the BPM is for some reason not correct. Okay, so let's I don't know, let's ruin it on purpose, you know, just to make this more interesting. So as you can see, we have here the first bit. Okay, this should have been the second, third, fourth, and here we should have started a new bar. Okay, so what we can do is use these 4 buttons to simply adjust the bit grid. Okay, so make the bits a bit smaller. Okay. And to do this, we press this button. Okay, so we press it a few times. And as you see, as I'm pressing it, you see that the actual BPM value here also changes as well. So let's say, I don't know, we are playing this, and let's see if I hit play, if we get the bits to align, so what we're hearing to align visually. Here, for example, we need the bar a bit to the left, so we need to make the bits even smaller. So we make them even smaller. Okay, and you notice it has to be like perfect. Okay, so we hit play again. We can even scroll to the track and see visually if the bits align even further. Okay, so we see it doesn't, so we make them smaller, and then we move the cursor a bit more, and we see, okay, so this needs to be a bit smaller. Okay, and we make it a bit smaller, and so on and so forth. Okay, so here, for example, we can see that it's a break, and then the bit comes again. So this is a very good point to actually try and make the bit even smaller. And as I'm editing, I don't know if you're paying attention to this. The BPM value gets pretty much close to 105, which is actually what we started with. And you see here again, it is a bit too much, and we make it a bit smaller, and so on and so forth. So at this point, the bit grid is almost perfectly set, but I know, I mean, using your human intuition, this tells you that basically this track is actually 105. I mean, pretty much nobody would stay and make a track which is 104.957. Okay, so we can just click on this value, and we can actually enter 105 here. And at this point, the bit grid is pretty much perfect. Okay. Again, let's say that for some, I don't know, strange reason, maybe here we have like a different tempo. I don't know. Let's say we have like double the tempo from here on. So right now, if you notice, we are actually only having one grid, so only one section of the song only. So what this means is the whole song from start to end has the exact same BPM, the exact same grid. So now we can add another grid at this particular position, and again we can hit plus. And now if you see, we have 2 grids, and if I'm selecting the first one, we are transported to where the first one begins, which is here. And if we select 2, we are transported where the second one begins. Again, what we need to do is so after we set another grid, we have, so this one with the red is actually the first down bit, the first bar in that new section, in that new bit grid. Okay, we can move this, and I don't know if you're noticing, but the ones on the left, which are from the previous grid, which are from grid 1, they don't change when you do this. They don't move along. Okay, only this new section, we are actually altering, we are editing only this section. Okay, so let's say we start here, and again we can adjust the BPM, of course. For this particular scenario, obviously we don't need to, because the track is already perfect. But let's say that for some reason, I mean, especially on a live playing band, there is pretty much no way for the drummer to keep like a steady tempo, unless I don't know, maybe he has like a metronome in its ear or something in the headphones. But otherwise, it's close to impossible for a live band to have like a perfect BPM or a perfect grid from all the way throughout the song. So what you do in that scenario, you go here and you start your first bit grid, and then you go a bit further and you put another one, and you go here, you put another one and another one. So basically you're trying to make as many grids as you need, but then again not that many, you know. I mean, you just keep it as smaller as possible. Pretty much all the electronic music, all music that is done on I don't know, on the last like 20 years or so, you're gonna have like a very steady rhythm. You're also gonna have like a bit of a problem with older tracks, like from the 80s or 70s maybe, where they used like very you know, the synthesizers weren't that great, the crystals in them anyway, and the tempo wasn't perfect. I mean, the producer or the artist set the tempo to, let's say, 120, but because of like limitations of the electronics in that age, the tempo wasn't actually 120. So you might have tracks which have like 119.95 or something, because of these inaccuracies. There are lots of these tracks from that period of time. So there you go, guys. This is the way to edit your bit grids for all the tracks. So by the way, once you edit this, the changes are immediately active. So what I'm trying to say is, you can edit the track while playing live, so it's okay. And also the sync will use it live while you're editing it, so you could basically adjust on the fly everything. Take care, see you next time, bye.